Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Atari ST A to Z, a series of short playthroughs of Atari ST games, some which I grew up with and some which are new to me. Today is one of the former, although I didn't actually own a copy of this back in the day. I can't remember what context I played it in, but I did definitely play it. Today we're looking at Viz, which was a 1992 video game based on the British humorous periodical that had been running since 1978. And in fact, I believe it's still running today. You can still get on their website and so on as well. Viz was the absolute height of its popularity in the early 90s, particularly around 1992, I think, and its circulation was over 1 million copies per issue. I think it was about 1.2 million to be exact. At the time, these issues were bi-monthly, so it was every couple of months. These days, it's since expanded to 10 issues per year, despite very dwindling circulation. So I think it's selling less than 50,000 copies an issue now. So how times change thanks to the digital age. Now Viz, if you've never come across it before, is a foul-mouthed, offensive publication that is full of politically incorrect humour and characters and all that sort of thing, and it's always prided itself on that sort of thing. It's a real British institution as well. It's a great example of sort of British humour that is quite close to the knuckle in a lot of places, and of course the video game adaptation by Virgin Games is no exception. So, let's go play Viz. Okay, here we are with Viz from Virgin Games. Developed by Probe, who had a fairly variable output over the years. I'd say they did some good stuff, but they also did some fairly bobbin stuff as well. This isn't too bad from what I recall. It's certainly got good graphics that is very what's the word? Evocative of the Viz style. It captures the characters really nicely, as you can see. So, in this game, you have a choice between Biffa Bacon, Johnny Fartpants, and Buster Gonad and his abnormally large testicles. So the concept of this game is that they're having a fun run around, where was it set? Fulchester, I think, wasn't it? And so what you have to do is you have a little bonus stage to begin with, where you have to score as many points as possible, and that provides you with tokens for your character to use their special ability in the main race. Top tips: if you ever bought something you didn't like or don't want, send it to me, I'll have it. Yes, if you've never come across Viz before, Viz is genuinely still very amusing, and Top Tips is probably its most well-known thing internationally, I think. Largely because they had a Twitter account. I don't know if they still do, but certainly they used to. So, like I say, the concept of this game is that Biffa, Johnny, and Buster are all having a fun run. And so you have to run. Bugger bang ass bugger fuck hello. Hello, welcome to the highlight of my commentating life. I think, yes, it's Bertie Blunt's parrot. He's a right bleeding cunt. He'll shit on your head if you don't watch out. So yeah, the main attraction for this game was the fact that there were so many sort of cameos from different Viz characters. Oh, game over already. Good work. Good work, me. Let's try Johnny Fartpants. So, most of these mini-games involve wiggling the joystick as much as you can in order to achieve something. In this one, we're supposed to be blowing up balloons with Johnny Fartpants' ass. And then tying them up somehow, I think. No tokens, though. 0 tokens, so guff away. If you feel depressed or unhappy, don't hang yourself or you'll invariably end up dead. Right, let's try again. So while you're running along in these fun run sequences, you're supposed to try and stay in your lane as much as you can. Which is not always easy because, as you saw, there's sometimes giant gaping chasms in the road which force you to change lane. But you've also got to avoid all the obstacles as much as possible. Because if you don't, you'll see down at the bottom, you lose one of your lives represented by those circles. Oops. I think it's if all three of those circles light up green, then you're for it. Lordy, that's it. I'm too ashamed to carry on. So it's not easy, as you can see. It's not easy at all. So most of these sequences here involve wiggling the joystick as quickly as possible in order to achieve something. So in this case, Biffa's drinking his pints while Channel 4 is playing porn in the background. Each time you buy a computer game, place it in a cornflakes packet. At the end of the year, count the packets and divide the number by 52. I missed the end of that, but I'm sure it was very funny. Just a bit of a pain that you can't skip all this each time you play. You just have to go through all the same stuff every time. Right, I don't know if you can see it due to the frame rate of the capture, but if you look down at the bottom of the screen, the bit where it says lane, when I move out of my lane, you hear that chime noise, and that indicates that you are not staying in your lane. And you're likely to have bricks thrown at you by the referee. Like that, you see? And so what you need to do is get back in your lane and continue on your way. I always found this game quite noteworthy when I played it growing up because it has a lot of dialogue in it. You can see Roger Melly, the man on the telly, commentating away down at the bottom. And that's something we didn't see a ton of in... Another wiggly joystick one. You have to batter out some pancakes using Buster Gonad's large testicles. There we go. We got 3 tokens, so bounce away on your hefty bollocks. When you're feeling thirsty, pour yourself a large glass of lemonade or water, then drink it. So yeah, I want to like this game because it is amusing. I don't read Viz a lot, but anytime I have read Viz, I've always enjoyed it for its stupid humour. But I just think the game is one of those games that's it's just tuned much too hard, likely to make up for a lack of content. Because like a lot of games of the period, I think there's only like maybe 5 or 6 levels in this. And as a result, in order to keep people interested in the long term, they needed to make it as difficult as possible so that people wouldn't just beat it straight away. Alright, we are doing a bit better this time. I think one thing you do need to get your head around on this as much as possible is the fact that you do need to slow down occasionally so that you can move vertically down the screen rather than diagonally. Alright, well that was going a little bit better, wasn't it? Alright, let's try Johnny Fartpants again. Alright, again, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Oh god, so you got to be at a point, no time for a bath, wrap yourself in masking tape and remove the dirt by simply peeling it off. Yeah, so you only get the number of tokens based on where you are when the time expires. It's not the highest you got, it's where you are when the time runs out. That's ridiculous. Anyway, let's see if we can do this. I will say one thing, this is better than a Neighbours game, if nothing else. And despite being quite similar in concept. As you may recall, the Neighbours game was based on racing around Ramsey Street on a variety of vehicles, mostly skateboards, I think, wasn't it? Didn't you have to play... was it Scott? I can't remember, I forget my Neighbours lore. Yeah, there's just a few... There's just a few things about this game that are just a little bit unfair. Like the fact you can get knocked down and then you can immediately get knocked down again straight afterwards. That's quite annoying. Also, I get the distinct impression that... I get the distinct impression that some of the lanes make it a lot easier than others. In terms of what obstacles you'll have to deal with. Five tokens. When passing policemen in the street, don't act in a violent manner as you will most certainly be arrested. Right. Bring it on. I can't remember the original context in which I played this. I definitely played it back on our original Atari ST. And this was a game that I was always a bit excited to play because it always felt like I was being naughty playing this one. I mean, I probably was, because Viz was very much not suitable for the age I was when I was playing Atari ST games for the first time. Equally, the strip poker game Teenage Queen was also something that I got an odd thrill out of playing when I wasn't supposed to be. It's one of those games where you'd hastily have to turn the ST off if you heard someone coming up the stairs. Whoops! This is really difficult. Really difficult. Let's try Biffa again. That was better than last time. Alright, so Biffa can punch, I think. If you require items to juggle, I find that potatoes or apples are usually about the right size and weight for the job. So I wonder if Biffa can punch the guy who comes chasing after you with a stick. Because he seems to be a fairly serious problem to deal with. Well, this isn't going well, is it? This is kind of infuriating. Like, a lot of this is a case of learning the levels, I'm sure. But then you have things like the lane mechanic, which makes it even harder. Are you bored with computer games? Go and buy several more from Virgin and you'll have a great laugh. Yeah, so like I say, I think the issue with this game is an issue that so many other 16-bit games in particular suffered from, which is that they just made it so monstrously difficult that it's really hard to have fun with it. It's like this these days, even with sort of arcade-style games, there's a kind of unwritten rule that at the very least you should allow the player to get through the first level without too much difficulty. And this game just ignores that completely. Just like so many other games for the period. Right, take it carefully through the logs. Trip over the log, very good. Alright, we have the annoying uniform guy in a minute, who I don't know how to deal with, and I've only got one life. Oh, like that maybe. That was certainly one way of doing it. Let's try it again. I don't want to spend too much longer on this because we are just doing the same thing over and over again, but it would be nice to finish the first level. I'm not even going to comment on what's going on in the background. You can figure things out for yourself. When passing policemen in the street, smile broadly at them and doff your cap. They will certainly wonder what you've been up to. I don't like being in the bottom lane. Right. So let's just be as super careful as we can. You don't get bricks thrown at you during this bit, but they... Oh no, you do! God, that sucks. You can also go round him though, so it's not that awful, I guess. Right, let's hang out down here. Just keep moving. And then when Chappie shows up, can we... Well, that's no good, is it? You can't bounce over the fence. Yes, this guy here, I do not know what to do about him. Because, like, I press... I'm pressing the buttons, but it's not doing anything. Yeah, I don't know how to do that, so I think we're going to leave that there for today. That was Viz for the Atari ST from Virgin. Certainly an interesting game, for sure. And as to say, it's a game that does capture the humour of Viz pretty nicely. It just doesn't play brilliantly, as with so many other licensed games, unfortunately. But there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this festival of testicles and various other offensive content. We should be back to something a little more wholesome next week. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.